Let's talk a little bit about belief, the phenomenon of belief, and how belief can be the most dangerous act that you can indulge in. The act of believing in something. It appears to be pleasurable, but it can be highly dangerous in the long run. So we'll see why that is. So belief can be defined as assuming the truth of a statement that has not been proved or that does not have any evidence in support of it. For example, if you believe that Jesus was God, on what basis are you stating that? What is the proof for that statement? So, truth does not need to be believed in. Truth is ever present. This is truth. Undeniable. Here and now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to think anything. It's right there anyway. Even if you don't do anything. You don't need to think about truth. Truth is the only actuality. It's always just the truth that is. Just refer to your experience to confirm what I'm saying. Because the test of reality or truth has to be direct experience in the in the final analysis. When you have a theory, if actual experience does not support that theory, then the theory is obviously false. So all theories are subservient to direct experience. All thoughts attempt to describe and convey and communicate direct experience. Because thoughts are typically made of language, and language is a tool with which to communicate with the other. So all thoughts, the collection of all thoughts is filtered by what makes sense to the other. There is a filter between the set of all thoughts and the set of expressible thoughts, and this filter is determined by what makes sense to the other. So truth does not need to be believed in. Truth is as it is. In order for truth to appear other than what it is, you need a belief. In fact, belief can appear true if you are making conclusions from insufficient information. For example, if you believe that Jesus was God, you're just trusting what you read. You didn't go deeper to actually find out whether he actually did the things that he was supposed to have done. He supposedly did. So, as we just stated, truth is determined by direct experience. Thoughts can distort truth, and beliefs are always a collection of thoughts. So you need to believe something to make truth appear other than what it is. If you don't believe anything, truth as it is remains. So the negative aspect of belief is clearly visible if you read human history and the enormous amounts of conflict, national or religious or divisive identity based conflicts that humans have faced throughout history are based at their core in belief. And since much of the suffering that humans are going through is related to the conflict in the world, belief and human suffering are closely linked. We believe something when we're not sure that we know something. For example, I don't need to believe that I have two hands. I simply know it by direct experience. But I do not know that Jesus was God by direct experience. It's an assumption that I make based on insufficient information. And then I invariably come across others who do not believe exactly what I do, and then I attempt to protect my beliefs in an attempt to protect my identity at a deeper level, my ego at a deeper level. And that leads to conflict, and conflict invariably leads to suffering for somebody, for you or the other party. So beliefs imply conflict. Conflict implies suffering at some level. So does one end belief? We cannot take that approach because if we try to end belief with the mind will just go into a tizzy, it will go into ever deeper levels of thought. Because you cannot end the mind at the level of the mind. What needs to be done is to see that truth does not need to be believed in. It simply is. If you need to believe in something, then you're not sure of the truth of what you're believing in. So there's no need to end belief. What is simply needed is to be here now and see that here now is all that you ever experience, independent of thought. So regardless of whether you believe or do not believe, in whatever you believe or do not believe, the here and now is undeniable. So if humans developed the perception, maturity, and intelligence to go beyond belief and rely on consciousness and intelligence instead, observation, evidence, proof, reason, as opposed to emotionally driven assumptions, the world would probably be a far less tense place. In silence, there are no beliefs, and if you focus on the gaps between the successive statements that I'm making, that is actually a more profound truth than anything that I or anybody else can say. Silence. In silence, there are no beliefs. Beliefs are basically thoughts which are subtle sounds. Let's talk a little bit more about this later.